Here is why cold approach is better for both men and women, leads to better dating experiences for both sexes. Welcome and welcome back to the channel, Man Alive. It's all about helping single, professional, middle-aged men meet great matches through cold approach. Meet great girls. I am your host, your guide, Shaka, and what I want to discuss today is why cold approach works for both men and women. Right? This is a thing that's not usually talked about because obviously it works for men, for guys who follow through for the process and they learn what they have to learn, but also why it's so good for women as well. To do this, to start, I want to preface with something. I was reading about the T app and the fallout from that, how a lot of guys thought the power was skewed in the favor of women using background checks and the informal network of them talking about this guy, that guy, and they do it anonymously, right? And that's understandable. But negative online dating experiences, as I read on an article, for both genders are increasing. So men and women are becoming more and more and more dissatisfied with the possibilities of finding love, companionship, relationship online. And actually, according to a Pew study, Pew survey, 54% of men and 64% of women would agree that online dating platforms should implement background checks. So men too, a whole lot of men as well, because fake profiles, AI profiles, this person is just a scammer, this person is a kidnapper. You never really know, right? It's just you don't know who is behind the profile that you're interacting with, right? You have no clue, no idea. So both parties are absolutely tired with meeting people online. Both are, right? That's bad news, I guess, because I feel like online dating was becoming sort of a social circle thing, right? As more and more people use it, it gains more and more traction, more and more social recognition. People become more trustful of it, and it becomes normal, right? As it becomes normal, the weirdness fades and more people use it because of that. The reputation grows. But now it looks like the reputation has taken a hit, taken a dip, taken a turn for the worst. I feel like cold approach is a solution for both genders. One for men because obviously it teaches a man just staying through the process, learning and growing. It teaches a man self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth, focus, discipline, patience, consistency. All of these great things that are actually very important to his genetic survival, right? Because men's genetic survival is based on behavior. It's based on behavioral cues. What you do behaviorally determines everything, right? But also for women. It's not a bad thing for women. It's actually a good thing. More and more men were to learn how to approach because they get these guys through the process, during the process. Obviously, you're going to run into a lot of guys who don't know what the heck they're doing. They don't know where they're going. They're stumbling through it, right? But the more guys that are in the process that learn, that develop themselves, that become better, the better it is because there's more guys at the end of the process, right? There's more guys working on themselves as far as personally, as far as dating wise. They get better matches overall, right? And they meet these guys out and about in everyday life, which means there are more good men out there. I really do believe in the process of cold approach for personal masculine self-development. There's really nothing like it. It's akin to It's akin to business. I like to compare the two. The fact that business teaches you a lot of things, right? It's very challenging. It's very much of a reflection on small celebrating the small wins, learning what you don't know, figuring out the process of processes, and building your confidence, but also, enlisting teams, working with other people, all of these things, right? And cold approach, not to go off on too much of a tangent, cold approach teaches you a lot of other things that are in essence similar, right? Because business building is very much personal development. It really is. So is cold approach, right? As I said, will, determination, drive, understanding women, what they really want, which is kind of like understanding your customer in business, uh, building your focus, right? Continuing to work on yourself in every aspect that you can, because that always helps. All of that is very, very crucial, very, very, very critical. And guys lean into that when they do cold approach. They tend to. They really do tend and trend in that direction. So I think that in the wake of the T app and in the wake of the online dating disaster, fiascos, cold approach is a new way for men to build themselves, to build their dating possibilities, and for women to experience the fruits of guys who stay in there and build themselves and their possibilities. So I hope this gives people something to think about. I hope that the online mess in terms of dating apps doesn't get you too down, whether you're man or woman, because there is a better way. And boldly, I would proclaim, as I've broken down, the better way is cold approach. So take care. You probably need to listen to this a couple of times because I don't know if anybody has mentioned it like that. But think about it. Let it resonate. Let it sit with you. Let it marinate. Right? Until next time.